But if I am, like, right now, this is like I'm sitting and I'm trying to find something, like I'm trying to reach this so-called like enlightenment, but like in sitting right now, I am already expressing it.
Yes.
Why is it not a living reality? Like,
yes, I understand. Well, with that reasoning, if everything is an expression of Buddha nature, the tree is also an expression of it.
Mm-hmm.
The mountain, the bird, the worm, the ant. So they're all expressions of Buddha nature. However, we have to make a distinction between Buddha nature, which is something that's the nature of existence, and Buddha realization. Right? There may be certain realities that exist, but we need not be conscious of those realities. For instance, the earth, for how long was the earth a sphere before we had confirmed that fact?
Okay, I understand that.
So it's not that, so certain realities are there, we're either conscious or not conscious of it. So in terms of the essential nature of mind, we are Buddha nature, but your perception is not connected with the essential nature of mind, and I'll explain to you the very simple reason why. It's simply out of being identified with the coverings of the mind. So you're out of ignorance of one's essential nature. This gives rise to the feeling of the incompleteness of being. Because of the feeling of incompleteness of being, now you want to psychologically compensate for the disconnection.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? As a compensation, you project your desires into the external world. And therefore, you're carried away from the so-called inner spiritual life to the external so-called quote-unquote materialistic life. And that's basically the reason. We are ignorant of what is the essential nature of mind. So there's this compensation mechanism where it gives you a certain feeling, a void, a vacuum that you feel that needs to be covered up. So we cover it up with, you need to create a substitute self for that. And that's what the ego is. So we need a bundle of cravings which we project into the external world, and therefore we believe that's going to be the source of our happiness.
So what am I looking for?
Really the problem is limitations of perception. We're constrained by our perception for many reasons, evolutionary reasons. We've carried an enormous inheritance of conditioning of our mind and body. We have evolved as beings which are designed to be careful not to run into tigers and lions in the forest, not for wisdom, not for insight, not for meditation. So it's almost as though our conditioning compels the human being to look outwards. But that compulsion makes us unaware of the inner nature. This is why, for instance, certain psychedelic drugs like LSD became extremely popular. Because what it tends to do is, your brain has a filtering mechanism where you're absorbing a little heap of information. But if you were truly conscious of all of that information, it could lead to confusion. Mm-hmm. So it filters out this information. And what happens under the influence is, all those filters have been dropped. And what's left is, now you're exposed to the ocean of the unconscious mind, which has an immense feeling. It's a kind of samadhi in a way, where your sense of ego is overwhelmed by a reality which is much more immense. So your brain has this filtering mechanism. So we're conditioned in really so many ways to have these restrictions in our perception. So that's why, as our minds and bodies have been trained to be externalized, through a different type of training, our minds and bodies, we can train to internalize our attention.